So with that, do you think he runs? Because allegedly there was supposed to be an announcement today.
Yeah, it'll be tonight.
So you think so? I don't think there is going to be one. So the rumor is his daughter got married over the weekend, Tiffany Trump. She's the lesser known Trump out of all. She's the Tara Reid of the Trumps, right? With that, there was allegedly a conversation that he had with all the children at the wedding, asking him to support this announcement for him running in 2024. Allegedly, Ivanka and Jared said no, that they would not be a part of it, not because they didn't believe in what he was doing, but because they felt that they had gotten burned by Washington, the lawsuits were getting to be too much, and more importantly, their children were getting harassed over and over everywhere they went, and they want to lead kind of a more normal life here at this point. With everybody chiming in from around the country as far as the political pundits and everybody else, even Chris Christie said, hey, we should move on to DeSantis and everybody else.
Did he's like, how do you understand what he's saying when there's like food in his mouth?
Well, it was between bites.
Yeah, he never stops eating.
It was between bites for sure.
He got that lap band surgery, and then last year we saw him at that football game, and he just had a full-on gunt. And it wasn't
weird, yeah.
It wasn't just a gunt that was split this way. It was split this way and this way. It was like a T.
It was a perfect T.
Oh, my God, dude.
You can't – you have to be so fat to have perpendicular folds.
Yep.
That is just like an achievement unlocked.
It's a weird body he's got going on there.
If I'm him, I lean into it. I'm like, look, you can't do this. Like, well, I wasn't really trying, but congratulations on your fucking fat gunt, you piece of shit. You can't even control your own fucking body, and you want to control the population.
Well, he's not controlling anything. Christie's not running for anything. He
will. He'll run for president again soon, or vice president.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I don't think he will.
Yeah. For sure. He can't fucking stay away. These people are fucking pathological. They desire the attention and the power. They can't live without it. That's why they got into this shit in the first place.
Well, he's got it now because he is the one Republican on NBC. You know how every outlet allows like one Republican to be there, right? So he does the commentary with Stephanopoulos and those guys on NBC. He seems to be happy in that gig, so we'll see.
Stephanopoulos is like 4 foot tall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and his wife is like 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
But so I don't know with the Trump thing. I don't know that he actually runs. If this Saudi thing is real, what do you care anymore? I guess. And if you're hearing everybody talk about DeSantis, I'm not sure, man. But you're saying tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I've heard from people that you never know what's going to happen, and especially in the Trump ecosphere, things can change very rapidly and sometimes without cause, just because he's a fucking psycho. But it does seem like he's going to run as an independent. But I've not heard anything about him not running.
Okay.
From anyone.
Because right now, everything that was supposed to have happened didn't happen. We'll see what happens tonight, I guess. What is it, 3:45 East Coast?
Well, we saw, you remember when it was 2013? And it was like, tune in September 5th for a huge announcement about Obama, ... Mm-hmm. And then his announcement, everybody thought it was going to be evidence that Obama was not American. But his evidence was, we're going to pay $5 million if you can prove Obama's not American. That's not an announcement, dude.
Sure.
You fucking idiot. So my guess is he thought he had something, and that's why he said that date. And then he found out what he had was nothing. Mm-hmm. And he just said, we'll just pivot. So maybe he pivots tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you're looking at what we thought was going to happen last Tuesday, didn't happen last Tuesday. Because he was supposed to make an announcement that night, too. That never went down. And then since then, you've had a week worth of media and everybody else saying we're all in for DeSantis, including us here on this side. So who knows?
I'm not all in for anybody.
You got to pick in my opinion, you got to pick somebody. I mean, you went in and voted. Who'd you vote for?
There's 2 years between now and fucking then.
Right. But if it were today, that's who I would choose.
If I had to pick between who and whom.
DeSantis and Biden.
Yeah, that's a pretty obvious answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, that's kind of what it is. So as of today, yes. Obviously, things can change in the next couple years.
But if it was Trump versus Biden, I'm not so sure at this point, right? Like, I really don't know. I certainly wouldn't vote for Biden.
I would not vote for Biden.
Under no circumstances would I vote for Biden.
Yep.
But It would be very difficult for me to cast a vote for Trump, even though it might benefit the country in some way, because he's profiteering with a country that is responsible for 9/11. And I want to, like you in the chat or people out there that can hear me in the fucking audio, come to my fucking Instagram or Twitter and tell me why you're going to vote for Trump, even though he's fucking propping up and taking money from the organization, the fucking royal family, and the goddamn government of Saudi Arabia that funded 9/11. Explain to me why you think that's okay.
I will say, by the way, regardless of that race in particular, just in general, because like I said earlier, I did this in the Texas election, abstention's a valuable thing to do. Because if you don't show up to vote, they can make any excuse up in their head about why you weren't motivated or whatever. But I like having my abstentions recorded.
Yeah.
Especially because if you're registered as a party member, which I'm technically am, even though I'm not in either party, then they'll...
Well, you have to vote in the primary.
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly. So right now I'm a registered Republican because I usually vote in Republican primaries here, because Democratic primaries are fucking worthless here. Yeah, so it's important to have your distaste officially recorded. I think so. It's a small thing.
I mean,
it
would be nice if there was a digital form where you could write exactly why you didn't vote for the guy, and maybe you can only use like 3 keywords, like the hashtags on YouTube or something,
right?
And it would just be
fat, angry, mad.
It would be the word cunt 3 times.
Sure, for you
on every one of them for me.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not so sure anything happens with this. We'll see. I mean, look, it felt like everybody flipped overnight and went towards DeSantis. And after the Kerry Lake thing, pretty much he's out of candidates that won that he supported here. So, yeah.
Yeah, but on the other side of that, all the people on the Republican side, people that were establishment Republicans, got voted out for sitting on the J6 committee or for being involved in his impeachment.
That's true.
So it wasn't just the Trump side that lost. It was all radical assholes that lost.
Yeah, on both sides, yeah.
On both sides of the Republican Party.
Right.
On the left, it is what it is. But on the Republican Party, they rejected people who participated in the J6 shit and in the Trump impeachment, but they also did not vote for Trump's candidates. I think that's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish, because I watched the season premiere of Yellowstone, that John Dutton could be our governor,
No, because, in real life, Kevin Costner backed Liz Cheney.
So I wanted to bring that up here.
And Pete Buttigieg, who's a fucking incompetent clown and has no business serving in any capacity in any government, ever. He's a fucking moron.
Right. So there was an article this morning about him, and I don't know if you read it, about K. Cos. And they said, hey, don't you think, because you're on the biggest show on television, that you could lose a lot of fans over your political views? And he says, I don't really care how the cookie crumbles. If I lose some fans, I'm okay with that. I don't give a shit. So, K-Cos doesn't care. Now, I'm sure the network does, for sure.
No, they don't care.
Well,
I don't think so, because
ratings are great.
SEAL teams over there, Neil gets involved in political causes, but not with candidates. So, but AJ talks a lot of shit about fucking everything. he's actually a little bit of a conspiracy guy.
Is he? I haven't heard. Where does he post it?
On his Instagram story.
Does he really?
He doesn't give a fuck, yeah.
Okay.
And they don't seem to mind because the ratings are fucking great. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's the difference. And Costner knows he's writing his own fucking ticket right now. And to be honest, look, Liz Cheney's a piece of shit and Buttigieg is a piece of shit. But who's Jon Voight propping up? They're probably pieces of shit too, just because he's conservative. I don't give a fuck. Fuck these people. To be frank, probably not a great idea to go to actors for your fucking political information, right?
Yeah, and on the reverse of that, I don't think it's a good thing for actors to come out and say what their politics are, because then you don't believe in their characters. So
maybe, yeah. I mean, you got to be able to separate those two.
I can't. Can you? When you watch some, is there anybody that's politically just going too far that when you watch them, you're like, dude, I can't watch this fucking person?
I don't know. Who are some hyper like?
So Susan Sarandon, Jim Carrey.
No, Susan Sarandon. Like I'll watch Bull Durham right now.
Okay.
Still a great movie. Do you disagree with that? I watch Bull Durham right now, and Susan Sarandon is a big part of that movie, and it doesn't affect the movie for me at all.
So oddly enough, most of the celebrities that are jammed in my Twitter feed that talk about politics, I just kind of unfollow. There is people, though, that I look back, like Rob Reiner, for example, I think is a comedic genius. And now I just think he's a piece of shit. Anybody who sits on Twitter all day long and just fires off tweets about how much they hate Republicans and everything else. Like,
yeah, but that's how fucking Seth Rogen is now, too. And to be honest,
I don't like Seth Rogen
if
either.
Pineapple Express was on right now in the back room, I would leave this show. I would walk out like Bert Koontz and go watch it because it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
It is. But as far as their future endeavors, I don't really give a shit about Seth Rogen. Like
his newer stuff hasn't been very good.
Well, there's probably some relationship.
There probably
between
is.
the two, right?
Yeah.
So there's a thing I was talking about with someone the other day about how Saturday Night Live sucks now.
Yep.
Right? And it's because all these people they're essentially, a lot of it boils down to they're huge pussies about committing to a joke.
Right. So,
you know what I mean?
So like Don't Look Up is a good example. There's a lot of extremely funny moments, but the movie itself is not funny because it takes itself too seriously, and you can't do that if you're comedy.